this train, years in.
Oh, wow. I'm just messing up all kinds of time. Let me do that one more time.
Ice in my veins, I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
Welcome back, guys. We're back here at Actually Aubrey with Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 5. It's all about the journey. Woo. How are you guys doing today? Kimberly, Roro?
Doing good. How about y'all?
All is well. All is well. I'm excited
Yeah,
to be here
same.
again.
Oh, and we're so happy to hear. We heard so many great commentaries. One of our other panelists from another show was saying that Roro is just a natural. So I said, hey, we need to have her back if she's available. Let's do this.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I got me blushing over here again.
Oh, of course. You are wonderful. You are well. Hey there, Joshua. Good to see you. Joshua in the building, in the house. Yes, blessings. Yes, you are first. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. God bless you. And guys, go over and check out Joshua Gabriel. He has a YouTube channel with the same name, Joshua Gabriel. And then
Okay.
also we got our one of our favorite viewers, Kirby. Kirby's in the house.
Yes.
They're coming
Hi,
in. They're
Kirby
coming.
and Joshua. Hi.
Hello.
They're coming in. Hey there, Ellen. Ellen's in the house. She's our moderator and member extraordinaire. She's in the house. And if you don't mind, Ellen V, if you have a moment, if you could run and get Joshua, his channel name is the exact same name, Joshua Gabriel. If you could pull that up, I would love it. And we'll go ahead and guys, we'll get started. This was an interesting episode. They finally made it to Jamaica.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Woohoo.
Yeah, they made it to over to Jamaica, and we'll start with Nicole and Chris. Nicole and down at the bottom, Nicole and Chris. We know they're both kind of I don't know. I don't know. I want to say they're really introverted, but they're a little bit quiet. But I got a sense that this honeymoon is going to bring both of them out a little bit more. What did you think, Kimberly? What was your thoughts?
Yes, I agree. So I am really hoping that we get a 50-year marriage out of Nicole and Chris. We can only hope at this point, but they really seem maybe insecure. I think that's the shy part maybe you are mentioning, but I think they're going to be able to tap into the program that MAFS have set up for them. I really think they're going to give it a fair chance and then
Yes.
just really do the work. I think they're going to be willing to do the work. They do seem to have the kind of experiences, the past experiences, as far as the trauma in the relationships or whatever. But I think they have a fair chance. I think Mavs got it right with this one, but hopefully they'll stick to the script and leave the past in the past because Nicole seems to like to travel back. She keeps going back, to this is the
Yeah.
old Nicole, and it's I don't like
Ooh.
that part. So let's focus on
Uh-huh.
new and married Nicole.
Married Nicole, girl. Forget that
Yeah.
single party and Nicole. Roro, what did you
Oh,
think about this couple?
I agree, Kimberly. I don't understand why she even mentioned that. Let it be
right.
in the past. He's dealing with new Nicole, right? Present Nicole. So
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
don't even put any ideas in his mind about what, could possibly happen. If
Yes.
you're over it, if you've changed, then let it stay back there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, she's just doing a little bit too much
Me
oversharing.
too. Yeah.
So
And
hopefully she'll get the hint. Hopefully she'll understand that and stop it, because
I
otherwise
agree.
they do seem like they're going to be okay, otherwise. I hope so anyway.
Mhm.
I'm rooting for them.
Right. Yes, especially the children's part. Now, I'm not sure if we can get over that part, because if you have one person who's saying no children and then the other want two or three, that's a big difference. So hopefully
Yeah,
they can.
yeah. Was
Yeah.
that her? I'm sorry to interrupt. Was that Nicole was basically saying that she was thinking that she didn't want to have any children.
Right.
Right. She did say that, but then she also said that she, will probably be open to it.
Hmm.
So hopefully she'll change her mind, but they need to
Right.
make sure that that gets ironed out. That's important.
Very
Very.
important.
Very
Yes.
Hmm.
important. Yeah, it's a
Hmm.
big difference between no children and even one or two children. But if she's not wanting to have them, and he's always planned to, when he got married, to try to have children,
Yeah.
adopt or whatever, but have children in their life, because that's a part of marriage for a lot of people that are of childbearing age, which they are in their early
Hmm.
30s.
Right.
So
Right.
and it almost sounded, did you guys catch it? It almost kind of sounded like she was like, well, are we on the same page? It kind of seemed like she was almost trying to push him over to her side of not wanting to have any, and kind of live this lifestyle that was just based on all their wants, and instead of maybe being parents. And I don't know, did
Hmm.
anybody else feel that way, or what were you guys
Yeah.
thoughts?
I agree. That's how I saw it as well. So that's the only thing that I see that could hinder this relationship, especially if Chris isn't willing to give up, because a lot of times it's harder to get the person to go from no, I don't want children to yes, I'll have three, you know. So it may be easier to get Chris to settle and, give up that part. But I don't think it should be that way. If he wants the children, and I don't know where they should go with that. But yeah, it did sound like to me Nicole was trying to get him to come down to zero.
To zero.
Hmm.
Yep, it did sound like
Maybe.
that.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
maybe.
Robo, your
Maybe,
thoughts.
but I think, hopefully, Chris is going to follow through with, his I'm not going to stand for it
Hmm.
attitude. Hopefully, he'll be able to at least express himself, and, maybe they can compromise on certain things, but,
Hmm.
hopefully he'll be strong enough to do that. But she seems like she's going to be kind of aggressive.
That's what
Right.
I get that idea. I don't know about if is this something you kind of attribute that to, maybe her being assertive or aggressive. Is that when on the matchmaking episode at the very beginning, Nicole was the one, if I'm not mistaken, that said, "Oh, my mother is a FBI, full-blooded Italian," is what she called it. And
Hmm.
she's from New York, and I don't want to give anybody a bad name or disparage any New Yorkers or any full-blooded Italian people, but I got the impression, having been to New York a few times, and having some friends that are from that ethnicity, that maybe she meant that she was kind of like mafioso, kind of tough, kind of rough. That was what I was gathering she meant. Did anybody else get a feeling or vibe of what she could have meant by that early on when she talked
Mm.
about herself?
Not
I
me,
think,
but yeah, it didn't seem too positive.
well, yeah, I kind of got that feeling. I mean, I've kind of run across a few people like that before too in the city, but yeah. Um, it shall remain to be seen. We'll
It
see.
remains to be seen. I'm open. I'm
Hmm.
open. I'm giving her every opportunity. I mean, because I do think, like, to what both of you ladies have said, I do feel like she really genuinely wants to be married and wants to be loved.
Hmm.
I think she's making every effort with her husband, unlike some of the other members who we'll get to. Just
Hmm.
in fact, here we come now. Let's see. Let's get
Right.
over. Would you say who? You said Kimberly. I'm sorry. Did you say something?
Oh no, I was just saying right, but I don't know who you're going to next, but I
Oh,
did see
okay.
one of my people coming along, so I'll speak on them when we get there.
Okay, I thought I heard a little birdie say something, but to the next couple, we'll talk about the bacon eating Jasmine and Eris, who eats no bacon. What did you guys think about this couple? If he says something to her about eating bacon one more time,
I know.
I think if I were her, I think I would take my nicely crisp bacon, and I think I would wave it right in front of his nose and say,
No.
"Oh, doesn't it smell so good? Don't you remember back when you used to eat this pork, baby?"
Did she do that? She did that. She told him,
Oh,
"This, get your
good.
smell of the bacon,"
Yeah, get your smell on, baby. Get your smell on. I don't know,
and he said it smells good. He
Yeah,
did.
of course it does.
So what
Bacon
is she
makes me
talking
wake
about?
right. Bacon makes me wake up in the morning. When I, used to share how somebody was making bacon in the morning, that made me jump straight out my bed. Yes,
You
bacon.
know,
Yes.
you better leave that girl alone, and you getting free bacon too. You know, you on vacation.
I was on
Bacon is
vacation.
expensive.
It's expensive now, right? It's like filet mignon. I would come back with a whole platter, a whole plate full of bacon.
You know, she better leave that girl alone.
But what did you guys think when Eris asked her? He had questions to ask her, and the first thing out his mouth was, "What is your favorite sexual position, Jasmine?" Kimberly.
Too many strikes. Eris, and I think I said that the first episode I watched with him, I was like, oh my gosh, I was just over it. And then I said, I'm going to give him another chance. And then he did something else. He just doesn't stop from the bacon to the positions. And then he asked her the most basic question, well, what's your favorite color? And then he went right back to the bedroom action. So I can see why he's 39 and living with someone and never been in love. It's just a lot with him, and I think they got it wrong with this one. But
They
we
got
don't
it
know.
real
Maybe
wrong.
okay.
No,
Well,
no,
maybe
Kimberly, they got it real. I
They
hate
got
to
it
even
real
use this.
wrong.
I hate to use this expression because I don't say things like that. But I've heard that the expression, the F boy. He's given
yes.
those F boy tendencies.
And he
Yep.
called himself that, didn't he?
And
Call. I think he called himself that.
He
well,
did at the when he was with his boys. He did say, I got to give this up, this f boy, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And remember, he waved to the streets. He said, "Bye,
Yep.
streets."
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
he
yeah.
Bad.
Yeah, I think that they really messed her up. They messed her up.
Hmm.
They did wrong by Jasmine. They
Jasmine.
really
Yep.
did.
Hmm.
So I mean, and then he's confusing as well. Remember
Yes.
he was saying, seemed to me he checked out when she talked about those 13 dogs.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. I saw
it's
it.
like he never smiled again since
Oh,
she mentioned something. You
His
know,
Roro. I saw his eyes glaze over at the reception, like the first day. His eyes kind of like you said when she mentioned the 9 puppies and the 4 dogs. His eyes. He said
yes.
that's 13, and his eyes just glazed over.
yes, yes, and
Mm,
then he's never been able to look directly at her again. But
right.
and then when they were talking and at the breakfast, and then he says he's going to help her walk the dogs. I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't you just say that the 13 dogs was too many? That's almost like he can't afford. He can't even think about it. How much money it's going to cost, and then now you're going to help her walk the dogs. Come on,
Yeah.
something's he's flip flopping. I don't know. It's just
Mhm.
something about him. It's something about his eyes that really kind of scare me. You
Mm,
know.
that's interesting. But you know what I worry about too, because MAFS is known for giving women of color, particularly African American women. I feel these guys that are kind of like, as our uh, Janice would say, Janice Hilton would say, dusties. So now he said one thing when he first came on about what his job. He's in technology. He's in IT, but you
Mhm.
don't hear him talk about his job or his career a lot. But you always asking, sir, well, what's her favorite position? Is it downward dog? I mean, get out of there. Get out of there and talk
Mhm.
about yourself. Talk about something that's actually edifying.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. It
Right.
sounds like they should spell his name Loser. I'm just really done with him. I really am.
Thank you.
So.
Same. I've been
Mhm.
trying. I've been trying, but I did enjoy the snorkeling. They went snorkeling. They could swim. I love it when we can swim. I think that
Yeah.
is very important to learn how to swim. But just
Yeah.
seeing them in the water and enjoying, that was a good day. I think it was a
Yeah,
pretty
that was
good
a
day.
little romance, little romantic
Hmm.
Yeah,
moment.
I thought it was because they actually did hold hands. Like
Yeah.
as she mentioned, to see that they both could swim. I was like, okay, that is good.
Hmm.
Because,
Yeah.
Hmm.
I will admit, I have to say, I do not swim, guys. I'm sorry. And I have kids that swim, but I don't swim. I make sure they learn. Well, see, I do have an
Yes.
excuse. So for the first 18, 19 years of my life, my doctor told me that I could not get in, chlorinated water. and
Wow.
I tested that out. And the first time I did, I had bumps all over my body. The second
Oh
time,
wow.
I lost most of my hair because I have very sensitive skin growing up. Like,
Mm.
Hmm.
chlorine and things like
Oh
that did
wow.
not agree with me. And because I don't live in Florida next or near close to a beach, that opportunity to
Yeah.
go to the beach would come up here and there, but not on a
Wow.
regular basis. So I never
Mm.
learned to swim, but I made sure that my kids did learn to swim. So I loved it seeing them, do
Awesome.
that beautiful clear blue water, and they were holding hands. I thought that was so cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once he got over
It
his initial you know, fear.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a
And
minute.
he
Hold
was
on, Kirby.
inappropriate. Yeah.
Kirby, that's a good question. I guess what you're saying is that in response to what I said about MAFS picking out poor husband type men for the black women? Are you saying that maybe if it's that's a question. I don't know.
Hmm.
That's a question for another day. I'll move forward. But that's a good question. No, I see what you're saying, but I guess I would say so. We look at this episode, and if what I think about uh, Eris turns out to be true, we see that on the flip side of it, though, you've got a guy like Shaquille. Okay, so look at if he turns out to be Dusty, you've got Shaquille over here, PhD candidate, worked hard his whole life, was very conservative, so that just in case he decided to run for president, he would have a clean record, right? So
Yes.
I think that there certainly are very good catches out here in the black community as far as men. But then this was something I
Hmm.
was talking about the other day, which is a whole nother topic, but I'm just going to throw this out there for pondering, is that
Hmm.
sometimes our top level black men, sometimes what they do, we've seen it where they go out and they want to date and marry other ethnicities, so that black women, like, what do you have to pull from and what do you have to pick from? That's a
Hmm.
thing too. So, but this is an interesting season this season because for the first time we see an African American biracial woman who is paired with a Caucasian gentleman. So
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
but so anything else about Jasmine and Eris that we want to touch on, guys, that you can think of? They
Well, I
were
just thought it was pretty
Mhm.
touching about her mom and him offering to help with the mom, which I think he will. I really believe what he said.
Oh,
Um,
elaborate, not to cut you off, but
Hmm.
elaborate about why he was willing to help. What is her mother dealing with right now? Because some of the
uh,
viewers may not know.
Oh yeah, with cancer, I think that they said that she overcame cancer pretty close to this process. So of course, the after effects of that, dealing with cancer and still having to go through like chemo, and different procedures related to cancer and making sure it doesn't come back. I think that was very touching, a very good moment. I like when they touch on things like mental health, cancer, things that we go through in real life,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I'm glad that he was able to step up and say, "Oh yeah, I'll be there. I'll go through, treatments with you, whatever." So that was very touching.
Yes.
Yes, it
Yes.
was.
Yeah, because the treatment is oftentimes the thing that is much more detrimental than the actual disease. You know,
Wow.
if they catch it early enough, but then they want to make sure that it doesn't recur. So the chemotherapy and the surgeries and the radiation therapy, all that is very detrimental. So
Mm.
if she's going through that, then I feel for her. And just
Yes.
like one of our viewers just said, I hope that he means what he said, that he will help her. I really do. You seem to think,
Yeah.
you're all, he's gonna do it, Kimberly. I'm praying that he does because I don't know how my
As
I
long as
don't
she puts
trust
him
him.
down in the bed, as long as he get that bedroom action, I believe he'll give her the world.
Mm. Oh no.
And we're going to talk about him some more in the weeks to come because I've kind of come up with a supposition, but I want to watch him a little closely because I'm just going to mention this. So we know that Eris is also the gentleman, the person, unfortunately, on the cast, and I do have full respect for this, that he lost his father very young, and so he's maybe never quite dealt with grief. And then there was another thing that was mentioned was that not only did his father pass away, but not from natural causes. If I'm not mistaken, I believe his father was actually unalived
Hmm.
intentionally.
Wow.
So that itself can come with a complicated issues that complicate grief. Whereas if you're grieving someone who passed away naturally versus there's that extra anger of that somebody unalived my loved one. So we're going to see a little bit more, but I do consider that, but I feel like he's unable to connect with people because of that. It also seems like it feels like from comments made and the fact that his mother still does his laundry that he's been coddled ever since that moment. You know,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
who's 39 and wants their parents to still see their underwear? I mean, that's not savory at all. That's not cool.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
Right.
we'll move on though to the other couple. So they seem to have good chemistry at this point. Dominique and McKinley, they actually went off on a little, like a little, I don't know what you call it. It's not a regular sailboat, but there was enough room for three people, right?
Hmm.
Right.
And they went out sailing, and it was interesting. I was surprised that McKinley, even though he drives a Corvette, he did not really want to go out that far on this little sailboat thingy. What was that all
Yeah.
about?
He was very apprehensive. You know,
Very.
like I don't know, maybe he was thinking like I can't swallow all that water.
And it's very common. Very common.
Yeah. But he finally got over it and overcame it and was able to get on. And it was funny because she said she thought he was going to drive the boat.
Right, right, yeah. Because for a minute we didn't see the tour guide, the guy that was actually familiar with that vessel, but they did get it out in the water. They did go out and they had a great time. And then we actually see them in the water. I don't know, was that a pool or the in the middle of the water they were in, and he kind of teased her about, well, I'm not gonna. I think it was the swimming pool at that point
It
because he
was.
said, I'm not gonna have sex with you in here. Wink, wink.
Mhm.
I
That
don't know
was
about
awkward.
that.
How did they get there
They
so
were getting
fast?
kind of hot and heavy, if you ask me. I don't know.
They were hot and heavy, and remember when she was putting on that life vest? She's very well endowed in the
Hmm.
front area, and and he said, oh yeah, that looks good on you.
Oh yeah. Well, he did say that was one of the assets that he wanted, that he really liked about women. So,
Yeah.
he should
Yeah.
be happy. And she kept reminding him too that he was looking at something really good, the whole time.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true.
Mhm.
I don't know, but did you guys? Okay, we got to talk about this. I'm not going to wait for this. We got to talk about this because if you watch the after party, there's a little commercial that was inserted, and it appears that in some of the upcoming one of the upcoming episodes, two people are going to kiss that are not spouses in front of the other spouses. Did you see that? That
what?
that Dominique is going to end up kissing Clint. And there looked like there was quite a bit of chemistry between those two. What do you guys think that is? What's that all about?
Oh, I missed
I
that
saw
one.
it.
I'm
I saw
shocked.
it, but sometimes I'm in denial. So I'm in denial on that one. I don't know. I
You
don't
don't
think
want to
it really
believe your
happened.
lying eyes.
No, I can't believe it. I'm not. I need to see it on the show and then I'll talk about it because even her hair looked different in that clip.
Yeah.
Dominique's hair looked different. Clint hair looked like it was different. It didn't look as
Well, you
Was
know what
that
I
supposed to be now, like, or afterwards, like later
wait a
on?
minute. Yeah, it's got to be. Think about it, because what they had on clothes for a colder climate, so they're clearly not in Jamaica. So they're back home. I'm
Mhm.
thinking. I'm guessing. I mean, you have to make some certain common sense assumptions. They got on like fall weather clothes, so you have to assume they're back wherever they came from. Well, Nashville.
Yeah.
And the other thing, yeah, to your point, her hair is definitely different. It's flat ironed out, and there's no reason why she's gonna flat iron in Jamaica, where it's like 95
Right.
degrees every day. And we see
Yeah.
that she's got the wavy hair. Her natural hair is wavy, right? But we see it flat iron
Hmm.
in that clip that we saw. So I think that there maybe, I'm guessing, could they possibly be playing a game and with the couples, because you know how every year they have games that they play. And I'm
Yes.
wondering if it's like a dare or something. But the point
No.
of it is, though, they do seem to be very into that kiss.
Yeah, well, that's a
Yeah.
dangerous and kind of stupid game, if you ask me.
Very
Hmm.
I've
poor
never, as a
taste.
married couple, play a game where my spouse is going to kiss somebody else. No way. You
Oh, look
know.
at
No.
what Monique is saying on the screen. I wonder if it was at the retreat. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's at the retreat later in this, because we know this show is going to be on forever and a day, right? We're just at the very beginning of the whole season. And Monique says, I wonder if it's going to be at the retreat. They better not make us wait that long. Yeah, right.
Mm,
Yeah.
We know they aren't going to
I
make
was
us wait.
saying later, like after the decision day. That's what I was saying.
Mm.
Like after the reunion, like maybe they
No,
got together.
they're not going to give us anything that's going to happen after the reunion, because if so,
uh,
that's going to be a whole separate
a
episode that comes.
spoiler.
Yeah, that would have
Mhm.
been too big of a spoiler. So no, I think this is going to happen this season.
uh,
And I mean, again, I'm guessing. Now you could be right, Roro. I could be wrong, but I believe that this is something that's going to happen this season, well before, or at least a little bit before the reunion. And quite frankly, because the look on the spouse's face, it may be that they may not, they may change their decision. Who knows?
well, I was
Right?
hoping because it's like to me that would be a deal breaker right then and there. No games. That's not a game.
No,
Very poor
exactly.
taste. Very poor taste in game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta you go over even to Ready to Love, and a kiss has already spoiled Jeffrey's
Right.
options with a couple of the men. So yeah, it's not a good idea to exactly to be kissing men when you've got a deeper connection or a serious long term, like a marriage, as these people do. So
Hmm.
with that said, we're gonna move on to the next couple, and that is Kirsten and Shaquille, guys. Kirsten and Shaquille, like, so
Mm-mm.
Kirsten and Shaquille, I'm beginning to wonder now. Kirsten actually did finally come forward, and in the little egg chair that she shared with Shaq, she asked him, was he afraid to kiss her? Um, Kimberly, what did you
Hmm.
think about that when she asked him that question?
Well, this was the couple I think improved the most for me so far. So I was glad to see Kirsten come around and
Hmm.
mention the kiss and her insecurities related to kissing. Because remember, she said that she didn't feel she was a good kisser. So that could be
Yes.
why she was apprehensive about kissing him, period. And then she made the big deal about him asking her to kiss
Hmm.
before whatever. So I think it was pretty good for her to open up. I think Shaquille does a great job of being attentive, complimenting her. I love that. And just opening up. I think they're both kind of coming around to that strawberry kiss that they had. So I can't wait
Mm.
to see that kiss from the previews, I think a episode or two ago. But I think it was good, a good conversation.
Oh
And
yeah, the strawberry.
I agree with
Mm.
Kirsten because I prefer touch. I'm not big on kissing, swapping all that spit. So I'm with her. Like we can
Mm.
touch, we can hug, cuddle, hold hands all day long, but kissing is further down the list for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I have had a few of my girlfriends that have felt the same way, but by and large, most of the women that I know, when we talk about romance, kissing is
Hmm.
actually high on the list for them. So that is very interesting that someone would feel that way. To me, who obviously
Hmm.
I feel the opposite way. But that's a point. That's a point
Mm.
taken.
Mm.
I guess the thing that I feel underlying it though is that I see when, as a viewer, when I'm watching this, I see like when he goes to put his arm around her neck, around her shoulder, I see her tensing up. So I feel like there's still a part that is where she's not attracted to him.
Mm.
Mm.
That's
Oh,
what I'm.
Kimberly.
Roll. You cut the tie, because we're her and I.
Well, Kimberly, I'm sorry. You just make me feel so jaded because I didn't see it that way at all. I saw something totally different. To me, these two are playing for the cameras the most. I mean, to me, like whenever the camera is on, Shaquille is taking advantage of the fact, and he's like grabbing her and pulling her into him and pulling her close. And I could just hear her under her breath going, "You better be glad these cameras are on right now. Get your hands off of me." I feel like she doesn't want him to touch her, because remember he did ask her for a kiss and she said, "No, you're going to have to wait." When they
Hmm.
were at the honeymoon, well, yeah,
Yes.
when they were at the honeymoon, when they were still, I guess, the wedding night, he did ask her for a kiss and she said, "You're going to have to wait." And even though she had said she wanted him to ask her. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that she's just trying to not appear as a villain, and she's saying all the appropriate things, like she's measuring her words very carefully when she's on camera,
And
but
he
I
did
don't,
say that.
yeah, so I don't think, I mean, I've never heard of, you know, physical touch over kissing. I mean, kissing is physical touch, like Ellen is saying right there. It is physical touching. So how can you not, physical touch with kissing, so
Right. I get,
I
and
don't I don't understand it.
I do get what Kimberly is saying. Now we do know, just any of us that have ever taken a science class or or our mothers have taught us as children, that there are such things as germs. We realize that mucus or saliva or anything wet contains germs. But my thought would be that if you're dating someone, or especially if you're married to them, that you would have a respect for their hygiene and their cleanliness.
Hmm.
Hopefully they've been tested and all that good stuff. But kissing, yeah, that to me, that's just a part of it. If you can't kiss me, you can't really do too much else, because that's where, to me, as my mama used to say, that's where it starts with the kissing. Kissing. My mother used to say with her in her Texas draw, kissing brings on things.
Yeah, it's in his
It,
kiss. It's in his
it,
kiss for sure.
yeah,
But
and I don't like a man that can't kiss well, because if he can't kiss well, I've already figured out a couple other things about him, and it's a no for me.
Uh-oh.
well, I don't know. We'll see. I'll try to, look at it that way, Kimberly, but I don't understand a woman her age that is not comfortable kissing a man, not comfortable about her kissing. I mean, that is one of the first things you learn,
I think
Mm-hmm.
if
Yeah.
I were him, I would have had to have a little more detailed questioning of her. So sure, she's bringing this up. So now that she's opened the door for this questioning, or this conversation, I would have asked her, well, how were you in your previous relationships? Were you open to kissing then? Because I got
Mm-hmm.
a feeling that if he had the hair that she claims that she really likes in a man, and maybe he had that swag that she likes, I got a feeling that she'd be all puckered up.
Mm,
I
probably.
don't know because I'm like that with my fiance. Like he likes the kiss, and I'm like, don't put your tongue in my mouth.
Oh,
But
your fiance? Oh, congratulations.
Okay, okay.
I,
Well,
I like hugging, like we can cut. I'm telling you, and I'm 35, but it's just something
okay.
about, and we have went there, whatever. But it's just my preference is a hug, holding hands, like kissing is like last on the list of things to
You
do.
guys
But at
heard
least
it here
he,
first. You guys heard it here first. Not all women like kissing. So
well,
hey,
at
you
least
guys
he
heard it
got to
here.
your lips. At least
Yes.
you allowed him to touch your, because she won't even let him kiss her on the face anywhere, like the forehead or anything, So, I don't
And I
know.
Yeah,
think it's
I'm
understandable.
thinking that she just don't want him. She's just not attracted to him,
I
and
feel that
And
way too. Oh,
that's
she's coming up
possible.
with all
It's
these
and when,
other
possible.
and,
things.
and while we're on the topic, okay, so while we're on the topic, did anyone see the after party? Because that's interesting too, that we said that
Right.
Shaquille had some comments. Kimberly, I think you might have said Robo, did you see the after party at all?
I saw it, but I kind of like not really can recall that much of what he said.
Okay, that's all right. Kimberly, did you what did Shaq say about his wife? What did he say in the after party to Keisha
Oh,
Knight Pulliam?
Yeah, Shaquille let us know that his wife is one way on camera and a different way behind the scenes. So that's something that we're going to really have to look forward to. Which way is it going to go? He didn't really give much detail on one way or the other. So it makes me feel, is the strawberry kiss the what we're not seeing? And is she just trying to be so stuck on this don't like a bald head guy that she's just trying to make it seem that she's not attracted to him? So I don't know. Lord Kirby done called me a red flag.
No, he said in relationship to Mavs now.
yeah,
We're talking
yeah.
about
He's talking
Mavs.
about
Right.
Kirsten, I'm sure. You did let him get to the lips.
It took a long time. I'm with Kirsten. It took a long time.
Yeah, but that's
Yes,
okay. I
but
mean, I think didn't he say that, she acts like she wants to be, I'm kind of recalling it, that she wants to be touched on camera, but then off camera she says no.
Yes,
Right.
that's it.
Right.
That's what he said. That's one of the things that he
And
mentioned
that's
about
what I
her.
mean. That's what I mean. He to me, he's kind of like whenever that's what I saw anyway. Like whenever the
Yeah.
camera's on, he's pulling her in and putting his arm around her, and then she's like putting her hand up. Like, yeah, you keep
Mhm.
your hand up there on the shoulder. Don't you let it go any further down. Keep it
Right.
right there. So I'm thinking she's just not ready. If maybe I'll try to be open minded that maybe she will open up to him a little more, warm up to him a little
Mhm.
more. Like she said,
Mhm.
he's growing on her. So maybe she's right about that. But as it stands right now, it's like hands off, baby.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's interesting. And so for our final couple guys, also was on the after party too. Well, one of them, Gina
Mhm.
and Clint. Guys.
Mhm.
Now they for their trip for their activity, we saw them, which was kind of a little interesting. We saw them on a bus ride with a bunch of other people, so they were like going on a tour of. They were trying to go up into the mountains and find this beautiful waterfall. But apparently there were some issues on the road, so what was supposed to be a 30-minute trip took like what a 2-3 hours or something crazy like that. But they finally
Mhm.
got there, and I don't know what happened to Gina, Roro, that Gina just started telling Clint all the things about Ginger that she didn't like. What was that all about? What did
I
she say
don't
to him?
know. I don't know what prompted her to do that, but I thought that was kind of rude and
Yes.
disrespectful, and unnecessary. Like what it was almost as if she was trying to turn him off deliberately, to say
Oh,
something like that because that's, who wants to be told that, because you don't like my coloring or, I want somebody that's taller and darker and, I don't get it. Like to me, maybe something triggered her. Maybe he had done something to her and they didn't show that part, but to me, it just didn't seem right that she would say something like that to him.
yeah, and I want to know.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not gonna try to be body shame anybody, but Dee says the cameramen like to zoom in on Gina's body, and I will say, sometimes as women or as men, we have to be self-aware of what we look like. Also, um, what do you think, Kimberly? I mean,
I agree. It just seems that those attacks on the ginger came out of nowhere. I also noticed at the beginning, though, Clint didn't compliment Gina like when she removed her cover up. Most of the time, men would say, "Oh, you look good," or "You look
mhm,
nice," but he didn't give a compliment. From what we
ooh,
saw, of course, we all know about editing, and so
right,
maybe
right,
you could tell that Gina's very much so into her looks because it looked like she's had some work done. So that
quite a
is
bit of
probably
work.
yeah, probably a big deal to
Mhm.
her. So for him not to be forthcoming with the compliments, that could be wearing on her, and maybe that's why she was so willing to attack him in that way. But Ginger, I
Oh,
don't think that's
okay.
something you can control. You really can't control those
Yeah,
things.
who can
But she can,
control? Go ahead.
right? Yeah, I mean, she went all detail about Ginger features, and just it was a bit much, I think. And Clint just looked like he melted when she was going on and on. His little pride went out the window into the ocean and just drowned. Mm,
And
Yep.
swam away all the way
Well,
back to Nashville.
well, I
all the way
mean,
back to Nashville.
That was
yep,
cold. That was
as
cold.
most people would, you
Mhm.
know,
Yes,
your spouse is telling you that, they don't like the way you look,
right.
and there's nothing you can do about that.
No.
No.
So that to me was very cold hearted of her, unless like you say, maybe he had said or something or done something that triggered her,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
we didn't get to see that, so it comes across like she's just being really cold hearted and mean.
Hmm.
So, I hope that we can get to see everything that happened, but it looks like from everything that they showed, it looks like she's the one that came across that way first, even before it got to the part where he was saying he liked athletic women, slender athletic
Hmm.
women. So it seemed to be
Right.
like he's responding to her. Um, so that's why he said that he's responding to the way she came in and, insulted him basically. you
Right.
know.
And she did say also in the after party that that is the way that they talk to each other, but that's not what we saw. We didn't see that part.
No, we
Mhm.
didn't. If he was talking to her like that, they cut it out. But then I think this is a key thing. Like, and Roro's mentioned it, and someone in our chat has mentioned it. There's very little that anyone can do to control their coloring that they were born with, their
Mm-hmm.
ethnicity, their gingery natural hair color. I mean, sure, yeah,
Yeah.
he could dye his hair, he could, professionally, but most men, except when they're trying to cover up their grays, those that do that, most men don't really spend a lot of time coloring their hair like we women do. So
Right.
that was to speak on that part to me. That was very unfair of her to talk about something that he could never change. Just like she has certain features. Well, she's worked very hard to change a few of her natural assets to add or to embellish or to add fullness to her lips. And one of the things, I don't know if you guys caught this, but when we saw her family, there was a time like an episode or two back when we saw her family, because I kept thinking, oh, she's got a nice complexion. It's got a nice little olivey tone to it, kind of like my daughter is kind of olive complexion. But then when we
Mm-hmm.
met her family, if you ever really looked at her sister, who was nice, and you could see the resemblance, her sister is closer to Clint's complexion. So then I realized, I said, well, you know what? She's been doing a lot of that tanning because she's in the beauty business.
Mm.
She's been doing a
Mhm.
lot of tanning. It appears to be that she's got lip fillers. And, well, I think that she's had her teeth augmented. Okay. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
we know that she's done a lot of stuff. So she's doing all this stuff to change herself. And yet Clint is who he is. And he can't change his hair color. He can't change the
Mhm.
fact that most redhead haired people we know tend to also have freckles and tend to also have very pale skin. So if she's talking
Right.
about coloring, like that's just like him saying he wishes he were a black man. He's never gonna be black.
Yeah, I
Right.
kind of thought about that. That came across my mind when she said that, and I know that I think I heard you mention this before, where she needs to have some work done on how far she's opening her mouth. I don't understand that. Every time.
Row, you weren't supposed to tell everybody. I do.
Listen.
I do feel like when she watches this back, because we know we can't see ourselves. Now I've been on camera a lot back in my younger
Mhm.
years, so I things that I figured out really quickly, like okay, yeah, I need to turn my chin this way and not that way. I need to hold
Mm-hmm.
my head down this way and not up that way. And no, I
Right.
don't need to open my mouth as wide as a horse because that's not flattering to most people. I don't care how many. I don't care how many.
Funny to me.
I don't care how many crowns on your teeth or how much what is it, veneers or whatever she has on in her mouth that have made her teeth larger than life. I don't care. You just don't. As a lady, as a woman, it does not look ladylike to open your mouth. Just like if a woman was sitting in front of a camera, right? Not talking about you're playing a game of basketball and you're being in your guy mode, like because you're
Mm-hmm.
athletic. But I'm talking about if you're sitting in front of a camera, particularly with a dress on, you would never, ever, ever think, if you're a lady and you know anything about being a lady, you would not think to have your legs wide open, right?
Right.
Right.
Same way with your mouth. That doesn't. I don't care how beautiful and white your teeth are. That don't look good, Gina. And the other
Mm-hmm.
one that does it is Nicole. Nicole has a tendency to do it a bit too. So
Right.
just and we know what? Can we go back to last season? Does anybody remember who did it last season
Yeah.
with the mouth? Go
Oh,
ahead. You can talk.
Alex, Alexis. When she would throw her head back.
Oh.
She would throw her head back like a horse.
Yes, yes, she would. Yes, she did. Alexis would throw that head back, and oh my God, I could count all her teeth. I could count her tonsils. I mean, I felt like I was her dentist.
I don't
No,
know why.
no, boo,
I
close
don't know
your
why it's so
mouth.
comical to me. That is so comical to me.
Close your mouth.
especially when she says horse. That is what took me out.
Oh, you stop, you stop. But listen, I want to see, and we're gonna get ready to get on out of here in a minute. But I want to see what is D talking about. Did anybody think this is a good question, guys? You guys tell me when I read this. Did anybody think that Gina was flirting with Shaquille on the after party? She says, "I like a bald head. I like them tall and handsome and dark." And she kept looking over it. This is what I've been wondering when she keeps saying she likes them tall, dark, and handsome. What do you guys
Hmm.
think?
Hmm. I thought so too. I was thinking, I saw that. I caught that part. I did hear her say I like a bald head and look over at him and kind of give him that little look, that little sexy look. I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So maybe this was her response to that Dominique Clint kiss. You know,
Yes,
maybe
yes.
maybe a lot of things happen
Oh,
afterwards.
right, right. I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Because we do know they tape the after party after they have wrapped up everything on the season. You're right. You're right.
Hmm.
Guys, please go ahead.
Hmm.
If you're on the replay gang, if you're still here right now, be sure and double check and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, that you like this video. And guys, go on over to Kimberly Review because she on Wednesday, she does a what? Kimberly, tell them. I'll let you tell them. What do you do to the party you do for MAFS?
Yeah, thank you. So Wednesdays, make sure you come over to Kimberly Reviews right here on YouTube, and we watch the show live. So you watch it however you watch it on your own device, your TV, your cell phone, whatever, and we chat about it. So during the commercial breaks, I'll unmute, we'll chat while the show is on. We can focus, chat, and just talk about what we're seeing live as the show is happening. So we're there the whole 2 hours from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And I would love for you all to come over and watch with me every Wednesday for sure.
We have a
That's
ball too,
awesome.
guys. We really do.
Yeah.
Roro, you
That's
got to come over
awesome.
and join us. We have a ball together. You would
Okay.
love that. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
come over this Wednesday. Okay, at 8
All
p.m.
right. I'll be there. I'll be there.
Okay,
Thank you.
guys,
Hmm.
we have enjoyed you. We thank you for sticking around for us. We thank a special thanks to my panelists, to Kimberly Reviews, and to Roro for real, and a special thanks, especially to keeping our chat safe, LMV and Monique King, guys.
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead and say goodbye, ladies.
Take
Bye,
care. Bye bye.
everybody.
Bye
Love you
now.
guys.
Love you guys. See you back at 6:30. We'll be back with Ready to Love. Bye now.